Capleton's legacy was forged in fire, both the literal flames he chants about and the figurative ones he walked through to become one of Jamaica's most commanding voices. Known worldwide as the Fireman and the Prophet, Capleton stands as a towering figure in reggae and dancehall history, a man whose career reflects transformation, controversy, conviction, and cultural impact. His journey has never been smooth or universally accepted. Instead, it has been shaped by sharp turns, moving from raw, provocative dancehall beginnings to a spiritually charged Rastafarian message that redefined an era, while also drawing intense scrutiny and debate. Born Clifton George Bailey III on April 13, 1967, in the rural village of Islington, St. Mary, Jamaica, Capleton's early life unfolded far from the bright lights of Kingston's dancehall stages. Islington was quiet, agricultural, and deeply rooted in tradition. Days were marked by the rhythms of rural life, and nights carried the hum of community gatherings and church songs drifting through the air. From a young age, Clifton stood out. He was observant, articulate, and quick with words, qualities that earned him the nickname Capleton, borrowed from a respected local attorney admired for his sharp logic and commanding speech. Even as a boy, people noticed that he had a mind that cut clean and precise. Music entered his life early, first through the church. Singing in the choir introduced him to harmony, discipline, and the emotional power of sound. But it was the pull of the dance hall that truly ignited him. At just 12 years old, he began sneaking out at night, drawn by the booming bass of traveling sound systems and the electric energy of local DJs. Standing at the edges of crowds, he didn't just listen, he studied. He watched how selectors controlled the audience, how lyrics could provoke cheers, outrage, or reflection, and how a voice could command space without apology. This was his real classroom. Capleton attended Islington High School, now known as Horace Clarke High School, where his intelligence and verbal skill continued to set him apart. Teachers and classmates recognized his sharp tongue and fearless expression. Education mattered to him, but even then he sensed its limits. He absorbed lessons in the classroom, yet his deeper education came from the streets, the sound systems, and the unfiltered realities of Jamaican life. At 18, with little more than ambition and raw talent, Capleton left St. Mary for Kingston. The move was both a risk and a rite of passage. Kingston was louder, harsher, and relentlessly competitive. He survived by working odd jobs while throwing himself fully into the dancehall circuit. Nights blurred into mornings as he refined his delivery, sharpened his lyrical edge, and earned his reputation. His breakthrough came through the African Star sound system, where his voice, gravelly, urgent, and commanding, began to turn heads. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Capleton had arrived. Songs like Bumble Red and #1 on the Look Good chart made him a recognizable name, firmly planted in the era's provocative, slack dancehall culture. His lyrics were confrontational and unfiltered, reflecting the sound and spirit of the time. Yet even then, there was something restless beneath the surface, an artist searching for meaning beyond shock value. That turning point came between 1992 and 1994. With the release of Almshouse, Capleton began shifting towards social commentary, addressing inequality and hardship. Soon after, he fully embraced the Rastafarian faith, a decision that radically transformed his life and music. The change was total. His lyrics turned towards spirituality, African identity, justice, and moral reckoning. Fire became his symbol, not of destruction, he insisted, but of purification. The world took notice. In the mid-1990s, Capleton's intensity caught the attention of Russell Simmons, leading to a deal with Def Jam Recordings. Albums like Prophecy, 1995, and I Testament, 1997, pushed him onto the international stage, blending reggae, dancehall, and hip-hop influences. Collaborations with artists such as Method Man expanded his reach, but Capleton never softened his message to fit expectations. The 2000s marked the height of his influence. Albums like More Fire and the Grammy-nominated Still Blazin' cemented his reputation as a cultural force. On stage, he was relentless, pacing, chanting, commanding crowds with apocalyptic urgency. Anthems such as Ja Ja City, Who Dem, and That Day Will Come became rallying cries. Alongside artists such as Buju Banton and Sizzla, Capleton helped lead the 1990s Rastafarian revival, steering dancehall toward consciousness and cultural pride. Yet, his career was never free of controversy. Capleton faced sustained backlash for lyrics interpreted as anti-gay, resulting in protests, concert bans, and global criticism. In 2007, he signed the Reggae Compassionate Act, pledging to renounce homophobia and stop performing certain songs. Despite this, scrutiny continued, with activists accusing him of inflammatory rhetoric during live shows. Capleton consistently defended himself, maintaining that his language was metaphorical and spiritual rather than violent. In 2018, his name was again thrust into headlines when he was arrested on rape charges. He strongly denied the allegations, claiming he was the target of an extortion attempt. The case was ultimately dismissed in 2019 due to insufficient evidence, but the episode left a public stain and tested his resilience. Even within Rastafarian circles, Capleton faced criticism. Early on, Bunny Wailer publicly questioned his sincerity, accusing him of exploiting the faith. It was a challenge that cut deep, but Capleton remained steadfast, insisting that his transformation was genuine and lived, not performed. Away from the stage, Capleton guards his personal life fiercely. He rarely speaks about romantic relationships, though he has been publicly associated with Sue Bunnett, identified as his wife or longtime partner. He is a father, but keeps his children out of the spotlight, choosing protection over publicity. One constant presence in his life was his longtime manager, Claudette Kemp, whom he called his second mother. Her death in 2023 marked a profound personal loss. Capleton's wealth, estimated between $1 million and $5 million, has never been his defining measure. He owns property in St. Mary and Kingston, maintains farmland aligned with Rastafarian principles, and operates David House Productions, his own label and studio. But his most lasting investments are communal. Through the A St. Mary Me Come From Foundation, he has funded hospital equipment, school facilities, and infrastructure projects in his home parish, giving back to the soil that raised him. Today, Capleton stands as a complex figure, revered, criticized, unwavering. His story is not one of perfection, but of transformation through fire, of a man who rose from rural St. Mary to global stages, carrying conviction, controversy, and an unyielding belief in cultural and spiritual truth.